Many people approach me and ask, what should I do if I'm stopped by the police after having a couple of drinks? It might surprise you that most police officers form an opinion as to your sobriety within 30 seconds of talking to you. Most assuredly, after they perform the horizontal gaze nystagmus test, that's the test where they wave their fingers back and forth in front of your eyes, they've decided whether or not to arrest you or let you go home. Therefore, all other questions and field sobriety tests that are administered to you by the officer are not to determine your sobriety, but are only to be used as evidence against you when the charges are brought to court. Remember, the field sobriety tests that the officer will ask you to perform are designed for failure. As little as 2 missteps on any of those tests will be later commented on by an expert to show that you are impaired for the purposes of driving. And trust me, you can't pass all those tests. The questions about your drinking pattern, the amount of drinks you consumed, when you started and stopped, are all designed to be used against you, not to assist the officer in evaluating your sobriety. You will be asked by the police officer to take a preliminary alcohol test, sometimes referred to as a PAS test. You are not required by law to take that test, and I strongly encourage you to refuse that test. You will also be asked by the officer to take the field sobriety test. You are again not required to take the test, and I strongly encourage you to respectfully decline to take those field sobriety tests. You don't want to fail the attitude test with the police officer. Therefore, you should be respectful, but politely decline to answer his questions or take the tests that are requested. Remember, the officer has already determined that you're under the influence. No matter how good you do on any of those tests, he's not about to let you go home. If arrested, you are required to take a blood or a breath test, and I encourage you to select a breath test and decline to take a blood sample, even though the police will often encourage you to take the blood test. In my 38 years of defending people charged with DUIs, I have seen countless cases where had the individual declined the field sobriety test or the PAS test, the case would never have gone to court. Be polite, but do not volunteer information. Respectfully decline to answer the officer's questions about your drinking, and inform the officer that you'll be willing to submit to a breath test if placed under arrest. If you have been arrested for your DUI and you took these tests, it's not too late. Call me right away, as there are still other defenses available that might lead to dismissal of the DUI charges.